I'm Dr. Joan McBee, your instructor for BA446, Retailing Management. I love teaching any marketing course because marketing is my specialty. I've been teaching marketing for about 16 years now. And this course in particular because we are all consumers and we can all relate to the retailing environment. So I hope you find this course enjoyable and that you can apply your learning to whatever it is you're doing professionally. Retailing comes in many forms. Even SOU is considered a retailer. My first piece of advice to you is that you will get out of this course what you put into it. If you don't read your chapters and you just do the minimum, then your grade's probably going to reflect that and you're not going to get a lot out of the class. But if you do all the assignments, you read your textbook, you do the quizzes, participate in the discussion board and so forth, then you'll get a lot out of it. It's easy to feel disconnected and maybe lost as an online student, but the more you participate, the more involved you'll feel and the better you'll do in the class. As the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. Because you don't have to face me 2 or 3 times a week, it's easy to forget about your online course. So my advice is to schedule a time each week, several times a week, whatever it takes to work on your class. For me, when I was taking classes and my kids were little, it meant getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning because that was the only quiet time I could have in the house. So I'd get up early and work on my schoolwork. And that way, I still had my time with my kids. But do what works for you. Some of you like to work late at night. So I know that sometimes I get postings at 1 o'clock in the morning. Whatever it is, just be consistent and you'll probably do better and not find things so frustrating. You have basically 2 assignments due each week. You have your discussion board postings and you have your case study. Your first discussion board posting is due on Thursday of each week. You'll answer the question and please refer to stuff you've learned by reading your textbook or the lecture notes. And then by Monday, you have to respond to 2 other people in class. Now my discussion board guidelines are under the syllabus button on Blackboard, so you can look at that to see how I grade the discussion board. And the case studies are also due on Monday by midnight, and you'll need to cite at least 2 resources when you do those case studies. So you can cite something that you read in your textbook, you can go on the internet, do research about a company, give updates about a company, whatever it is, but be sure to cite where you got your information. I'll be looking to make sure you have at least 2 sources in each case study. Under the lectures and outline button, you'll find my lecture notes and you'll find outlines for every chapter. You'll also find flashcards and quizzes. Now the lecture notes are things that I've come across, maybe it's articles that I've come across or it's notes that I've taken just to kind of simplify something. The outlines come in Word document form or PowerPoint form. And I recommend that you print out either one of those outlines, whichever you're more comfortable with, and make notes on your outline as you read through the chapter. By making notes, you're becoming more involved in your reading and you're likely to retain more. And then come test time, it's easy to refer to your notes. The quizzes should be done each week. I don't grade on, you don't get a score based on your quiz performance. The quizzes are a learning tool, not an assessment tool. So all I do is make sure that you took the quiz, and I'll give you points for taking the quiz. The quizzes are great practice for the midterm and the final exam, so it really benefits you to do the quiz, and if you don't do very well on the quiz, that means you better go back, read the textbook some more, maybe redo the quiz again, and make sure you understand the material. You will have 2 exams, midterm and a final exam in this class. The midterm will be done online, and it will be a 2-hour exam. You'll be able to use your textbook, but be careful that you don't click out of the exam at all when you're doing it, and make sure you have a good internet connection and you're not interrupted. If for any reason you get locked out of your exam, then you will have to take the exam in the face-to-face environment. Okay, I won't be able to reset it for you. So remember that. And I also recommend that when you come to the end of the exam, save it, or you might save after each question depending on your internet connection. Sometimes it takes too long. You can also print your exam. So if for any reason, if you get locked out, then you can provide me with a printed copy or PDF of your exam, and that way you don't have to do it all over again. I really hate when that happens to students. The final exam will be taken in a proctored environment, and most community colleges or universities have a testing center where you can take the exam. It'll be up to you to tell me where you're taking the exam so that I can send the information to that testing center. The Higher Education Center in Medford has a testing center. You can take it in Ashland, at Road Community College, and Grants Pass. But if you have any trouble finding a site, then please let me know. We'll cover that more when we get to the end of the term as well. As for the weekly assignments, make sure, I guess I've already covered that, but there's one other point that I want to make about the weekly assignments. When I asked you to provide resources, cite your sources, use either APA or MLA format. And most of you probably are comfortable with one or the other, or you may not know either. The School of Business doesn't really have a policy on which format to use because some professors are very committed to a particular style and don't want to change. So I'm open to either style. The library has an excellent website. If you don't know how to cite sources, this is your term to learn how. And it's important that you do learn how because you're going to have to use it when you get to your senior capstone class for sure. If you go to sou.edu/library, on the right-hand side there's a link that says something like help with citations, and that takes you to a page full of resources to help you with citations. And there's even a citation machine where you just type in your information and then it brings back to you a formatted citation. The library also has a program called RefWorks that allows you to cite your sources as you go through, as you're writing your paper, and it's really slick. If you have the patience and the time to learn RefWorks, it would really benefit you. So, to get started in this course, I'd like you to look under every button to see what's there, become familiar with the Blackboard site, go to Tools, Personal Information, and then check your email address. The default is your student email address, and if you don't want your emails going to that address, if there's another one you use more often, then be sure to change it there, because whenever I email you, I'm likely to go through Blackboard. And then while you're in Tools, go to Homepage and then edit Homepage to create your own personal page. Tell me a little something about yourself. If you want to post a picture, go ahead. That way all of you know who else is in this class, who your co-students are, and become more familiar with each other. I hope that you'll help each other out during the term and feel comfortable working together. If you ever have any questions or problems, please let me know. If it's regarding something in the textbook, a question on the quiz, one of the cases, please post your questions to the cafe on the discussion board. The cafe is the first discussion forum, and that's a place for you to post anything you'd like. If you see an article related to this class and you want to share it with everyone else, please put it there. If you have questions about the final project or the midterm exam, whatever, post it there, because if you have a question, chances are there's somebody else in this class that has that same question, and what happens is I get about 10 emails on the same thing. But if you post it to the discussion board, I can answer it there once, answer it quickly, and then everyone has the information. Now, if I'm not online and I'm unable to get to your question, please feel free to jump in and help each other out. It doesn't have to be me that answers your question. Maybe somebody else in the class can answer the question for you. So please use that cafe. If there's something more personal that you want to talk to me about, feel free to call me. My phone number is under faculty information on Blackboard. I have offices in Ashland and Medford, in Central Hall in Ashland, and then in Medford on the 3rd floor of the Higher Education Center. So there you have it. If you're working on the weekend and you have a question, feel free to call my cell phone. And I hope you have a good term.